Hey guys, I'm here with Dana Shapiro, manager of ulu.coop, and I wanted to do a quick interview. So, Dana, how did you get into this business?
Well, my husband and I started an ulu farm in South Kona in 2015, and we immediately saw that even with only a few mature trees, we had way more fruit than we could sell fresh because there wasn't much market for fresh ulu at the time. And we started processing it and steaming and freezing. And as soon as we started steaming and freezing, we saw that demand was actually much larger for that ready to eat, ready to cook with product than we could supply as one single farm. And before we started the farm, my background was in cooperative business development. So I sort of see the world through a co-op lens, and I see opportunities for cooperative businesses everywhere I go. And it just seemed really clear that the time was right for a producer cooperative around breadfruit, where lots of small farms could aggregate their fruit, market it together, process it together, and reach those economy of scale volumes much faster than any of us could on our own. So I did a little bit of research and networking through word of mouth and identified about 15 to 20 small breadfruit farms all around the Big Island. Brought everyone together in a community meeting, which we held in May of 2016 up in Waimea. And out of that first meeting, 9 farms were really interested in proceeding and in forming a co op. So we met again a few months later and we incorporated the co op. And we really hit the ground running because it was ulu season by then. It was July, August. And those of us with mature trees had mature fruit to sell and nowhere to sell it to. And fortunately, one of the first farms involved was Sweet Cane, which has a cafe as well in Hilo. And so they had a commercial kitchen where we were able to start processing the fruit. And they really incubated the co op. The co op was born in a way out of Sweet Cane Cafe's kitchen in summer of 2016, and that was the beginning.
And then when did you move to this location?
So this location is formally called the Honalo Marshalling Yard, and it's a Department of Agriculture state-owned property that was built in the early 90s as an ag hub. But it wasn't used by the agricultural community for a number of years, and so the food basket, Hawaiʻi Island's food bank, actually subleased the property for I think at least 15 years, and this was the West Hawaiʻi Island food distribution point. Up until 2016, right as the co-op was getting off the ground, the food basket was able to move into their own facility in Kailua Kona, right near Habitat for Humanity, and they really shepherded us in. The leadership of the food basket recognized that a key step to ending hunger in Hawaii, and this is a critical part of their mission, is to actually increase food production and to enable farmers to produce food efficiently and get the price to an affordable place. And so they really shepherded us in, and then we were able to apply for our own lease with the State Department of Agriculture. And the following year in 2017, or maybe it took 2 years, we renewed the lease for another 25 years.
Wow.
So we've now secured the property for farmers through 2043, which is very exciting.
Very nice. So, two questions I have left is how do you differentiate a co-op from just a regular business? I mean, does a co-op generate, profit just like a regular business? And second to that is, what other products have you evolved into other than ulu?
So a co-op is a business. And so from a standpoint of needing to generate revenues, to pay the bills, it operates like any other business, but it is unique in a few really important ways. And the foundation of a co-op is that it is owned by its beneficiaries. A co-op is not owned by outside shareholders. It is owned by the stakeholders who use its services. And there's lots of different kinds of co-ops. There's worker co-ops where the employees own the business. There's consumer co-ops like grocery store co-ops where the customers own the business. In a farmer co-op, it's the producers who supply the crops that actually own the business. So all of our ulu farmers buy one share of common stock, and it's one share, one vote. So it's a democratic governance structure. We're governed by a board of directors made up of the farmers who own the business. And at the end of the year, there's profit sharing according to what's called patronage. which is a unique co-op term, which basically is each farmer's relative share of the ulu that they contribute alongside all the other farmers. So if I contribute 10% of the co-op's ulu in a given year, I would be entitled to 10% of the profits. So for the farmer, there's a real economic benefit as well as a control benefit, whereby being a member of the co-op, you control a larger share of the market for your crops than you do as one individual farmer, because you're controlling a share of the vertical integration and the processing and the marketing. And over the last 4 years since the co-op was established, we have diversified quite a bit. So we now process, in addition to ulu, kalo, uala, sweet potato, squash. What else? We've done banana, green papaya, mango, white pineapple, soursop, avocado, green beans. We experiment a lot. So far, our main commercial crops, in addition to ulu, are those first three I mentioned, the kalo, uala, squash, so all local starches. And diversification is so important to what we do for a number of reasons. One, it increases revenues for our growers. If they're able to grow more crops and more poundage on each given acre, then they can actually generate more revenues for themselves. For the co-op, it helps to even out our production cycle because ulu is a very seasonal crop. So by processing other crops, we can provide jobs for our employees over the course of the year. And finally, diversification is really a more sustainable way to farm and to do business. Because instead of relying on a single product, we now have a plethora of products. And if demand for one goes down, demand for another will probably go up. So we really see diversity as a strength, both on the farm and in the business.
Brilliant. So ulu is seasonal. What's its main? What are the months where it's most harvested?
We see about 95% of our supply in the second half of the year, from July to December. And in that 6-month period, there's typically at least 2 peaks of production, with the bigger one being in the fall. So now in October, we're just getting into peak season.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. What a brilliant project you've got. I mean, it sounds like a lot of work. So far, has it met your expectations?
Oh, it has way more than exceeded my own expectations. The co-op has grown from our 9 original farmers to almost 100 farmers on both Hawaiʻi Island and Maui. So it's grown much faster than I thought it would.
Can we now see the facility?
Absolutely. Welcome to our operation. First, the farmers bring in the fruit, and after we have about 1,000 pounds stored up, we begin by washing it. And Eli is our professional ulu washer and sorter. You can see that he's sorting one of our large grape crates. And this fruit over here is a ma'afala variety. It's a Samoan variety, really, really prolific trees. And so the first step is sorting by size, because the fruit cooks a little bit differently depending on the size and variety. And then it gets pressure washed right over there on our rack. And pressure washing removes the latex. You can see this fruit still has some white latex. So breadfruit trees naturally produce latex. It's all throughout the tree, including in the branches and the leaves and the fruit. And inevitably when you harvest, there's some latex that's dried and stuck to the skin, so we wash that off with a pressure washer. And after we're finished pressure washing, we bring it into the facility for the next step, so come with me. Come inside the warehouse where we process all our fruit. The first step is to sanitize the fruit in order to kill any microorganisms that might be on the outside of the peel. We use a sanitizing solution called Keeper Pro, which is certified organic, and each crate of fruit gets soaked in the sanitizing solution for 1 to 2 minutes. Then the fruit is ready to come inside our commercial kitchen. The first step is to peel the fruit, and we use these neat breadfruit peelers, which were hand-built for us. They are hand-cranked. Then we quarter the fruit and put it in a citric acid solution, which prevents oxidation or browning. Then we core the fruit and put it back in the citric acid. Then we load the fruit into perforated metal pans and steam it for about 15 minutes. After steaming, the fruit cools on racks. Then the fruit is bagged and labeled, and we bring it into our blast freezer to cool it down to below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. This cooling step is very important for food safety. All of our fruit has to cool down to below 40 degrees within 4 hours after being removed from the steamer. After the fruit is cold, we bring it over into one of our large storage freezers for storage. And over here you can see a bunch of product boxes waiting to be shipped out. Here we have an ʻIlima sampler box. Come take a look. Here is the ulu, kalo, uala, and squash, which we produce in-house, and some shredded cassava, which our co-op members at Sweet Cane Cafe make for us. All of our products can now be found on our website, eatbreadfruit.com.
Well, we've been working with ulu.coop over the past 2 years doing product development, and I want to continue working with them. So Dana Shapiro is going to provide for us this ʻIlima package, which I'm going to task you guys with for preparing a meal out of it. It's all the starches, and you've got to come up with something awesome.